Hey dudes, how's it going? I thought it would be, so like this isn't a random YouTube video, this is for you base chatters. So I thought it'd be cooler, I was gonna write a response, I just thought it would be cooler if I just sort of like popped on video, because I think sometimes things are lost in text and I want to be, I want to do the right thing. So first of all, before I get to some of the questions, because there's like an equal, and I should say as well, thank you for all the nice comments, because there are nice comments among the some of the more on the edge comments. But first of all, I just want to say, definitely not losing my sanity. So. And the marriage is fine as well, guys, so don't worry about that. If somebody's watching this video and you're thinking, Scott, what are you talking about marriage for? You got to go back in the threads and like people are talking about, somebody links out to like Company's House and saying, oh, he's earning money and like his shares split with his wife and what happens if she leaves him. It all gets a pretty, I think I've actually put up here, somebody like, hey Seashell, as one of his comments he's put, I'm a bit uncomfortable with this thread. We're talking about another base chat member and calling into doubt his sanity and state of marriage. I thought bass players were supposed to be nice guys, and I think I can absolutely agree with that. But just to, I thought it would be cool, not just to sort of like address some of the comments head on, but also just, I wanted to tell you some stuff about YouTube as well that you guys might not know, and I've not really ever spoken about it either, which is in relation to some of the comments, and people might think, I'll get to it and you'll be like, oh wow, that's quite interesting. Anyway, so just in case anybody's watching this and they don't know what the video is about, basically this dude, Hell Zero, created this title and it says, hey Scott, is he going insane, question mark. And then went on to say that he's definitely not going to give me any more money for a new stylist or cap. Gav, do I have a stylist? Gav doesn't know I'm even making this video for you guys. Gav, do I have a stylist?
Unless you're modelling yourself on me, no.
I am modelling myself on Gav. Thanks, Gav. It's better not to anyway. But I do wear caps. Definitely no stylist though. I wish I could have a stylist. I wish I had hair to have a stylist. But then, yeah, and then Hell Zero says, and thanks, so, and obviously then he starts, and then he goes into sort of like the fact that I have like shares in the company shared with my wife and stuff, all this weird stuff. Who knows? Anyway, pretty weird, but there you go. And telling me it's a terrible business decision. Anyway, so I thought it'd be really helpful if I laid out, and just rewind. We were launching this Gary Willis Masterclass 8-week standalone course at the minute, and he's really pissed that we are doing that as a standalone course and not in the SBL Academy, which is a subscription membership. Okay, so just because you guys might not know actually what we do as a subscription. Okay, so just in case you don't know, this is what members get. Okay, we've got like sort of like four huge components, and then one additional one that's coming very soon. I might not tell you about that, I don't know. So the courses is really the sort of like key thing that we do in the academy. Generally there's a lot in there from me, obviously, because I started this thing sort of like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something, so I had to get started somewhere, right? And then there's also a bunch of courses from guys like, I don't know, like Sean Hurley, who's the bass player from John Mayer's band, Rich Brown, Bobby Vega, Henry Glinder from Dirty Loops, like a ton of people. We've got I think we've got like 45 courses in there at the minute, and generally like the early ones when I started out, some of them sort of like span to sort of 4-5 hours or something. Like I wish I could rewind and redo those courses because I don't think they're best delivered like that. But now we're into for the last sort of like 2-3 years we've settled into this, trying to get each of the courses around 60 to 90 minutes in length, because they, from the data that we've got, are really, our students respond the best to that length of time, sort of like 60 to 90 minutes, generally taught by one dude, or sometimes I'm in the courses as well. So anyway, so we've got this huge course library, like 45 plus courses. Most of the courses are like 60 minutes to 90 minutes long, focused on one specific thing or one specific player. Like Bobby Vega came in and did something, and like Bobby's Bobby's just like crazy creative and just learned the bass in a completely the opposite way that I did, right? So in that case, it's about me getting the information, trying to get the information out of his mind and get it over to the students. I'm kind of sort of like the ambassador in there. But yeah, and those courses, the academy courses that are like 60 to 90 minutes, we were releasing one every 4 weeks. But to be frank, like the students were just like getting way overwhelmed with it. So we had quite a bit of pushback from the students. They were like, can we, focus less on sort of like publishing content and more on sort of like the educational side? So we opened up that, and it's now every 6 weeks, which is still a lot, like over the last few months we've released courses by like Rich Brown, Adam Neely from you, I'm sure you guys know Adam Neely, right? So, and we've released like a course every 6 weeks for the last probably like 12 months, and then before that it was every 4 months, which is why we've got 45 plus courses in there. And just a note on the courses as well, because some people are wondering the distinction between anything that's outside the academy and inside the academy. Those courses, the courses that are like 60 to 90 minutes, we have got those recorded through till mid-2020, so we could stop recording today and release courses until mid-2020. They're all recorded. They're not edited actually, but that's Gav that does all that, some of it. Actually, you're not doing the editing for the courses anymore, are you? It's outsourced, isn't it? What do you even do now?
Nothing.
I think he just sits there. Nothing. He secretly hates me, I'm sure. Well, I've lost my train of thought. Where was I? Oh, so those courses are we're gonna keep on publishing. But anything sort of like that comes outside of the SBL Academy does not affect what's inside or what's going to be inside. That stuff, those 60 to 90 minute courses are going to just keep on going. So as I said, we've got them actually already filmed until mid-2020, and then just like the other day, I was having a meeting with Ian Allison, who's a fantastic bass player, session guy, plays with Corey Wong and those guys, right? He's based over in Minneapolis. He's doing 3 courses for us. Phil Mann's doing some more courses for us. And then also Gary Willis is going to be doing a shorter course for us. And then I'm trying to fix something up with Joe Dart, but shh, don't mention that. So that's what the academy, or that's the courses in the academy. And then we've got like the interviews. We release an interview, long form, beautifully edited video every 6 weeks as well. We've just had Billy Sheehan in. Before Billy Sheehan, we had like Verdine White, Gaylan Dorsey, and these are like crappy interviews. These are like hour-long, sort of like really beautifully produced, where we've got like multiple videographers doing it with us, and really as good as they get in terms of like the bass niche, or niche, whether you're from America or not. Oh, you guys are Basschat, so and then we do live streams every single Monday as well with the faculty members. So Gary Willis does live streams for us, Rich Brown does live streams for us, Steve Lawson does live streams for us, like every Monday, and all the students from that can join in that for no extra cost or anything like that. And then I do weekly bi-weekly live streams as well, for all the members, so they can ask me questions directly. And then we've got the community as well. So that's really, it's sort of like this all-in-one bass school.
Bi-weekly or bi-monthly?
But I said bi-weekly. I meant bi-monthly. God, can you imagine if I had to do bi-weekly?
I know.
I thought that'd be the end. That'd be the end. Yeah, proceed with caution, the end of my life. Anyway, so. And then where am I? So that's the account. Am I in focus? Sorry if I'm out of focus, guys. This camera's a bit shit. So that's the academy. I've got my notes down here as well. I made notes. And by the way, do you know what they said? Like, somebody said this in the he doesn't really know about the thread. Somebody said I didn't make a note of this. People were like, oh, this demeanour, my demeanour's for camera only. I don't know.
You getting a hammer in?
And I'm not getting a hammer in, but do you know what I mean? Like a little bit. But I'm like, am I the same in real life? Gav can answer. Look, he's a true Yorkshireman. Gav, am I the same in real life?
Aye.
He
is. Annoyingly so.
Annoyingly so. Sorry, Gav. So over the last 6 to maybe like 8 months or something, we've produced some sort of like really long form content as well. First of all, we did like a 26-week technique accelerator, which feasibly, obviously, it doesn't fit within the academy model. It's like a 26-week drip-fed technique course, so it sits outside the academy, and that was really well the students just went nuts for it, basically. Like we had just so many great things said about that course, and actually it's just coming to an end now. 6 months worth of technique stuff that those students, and that's outside the academy. It's like you enroll, and then I think we're going to sort of like open that once a year. I think that we're going to do, and basically the response from the students was so good. We were like, can we do something else like that? So we did a test another couple of months ago with the practice accelerator, which was a standalone thing. Again, it was like 8 weeks, I think it was, and like 40 to 60 minutes of content every week, delivered like drip fed. Again, that went down well. And then this Gary Willis thing, which the dude who started this thread, I can't remember his name, Hell Zero, that he's really peeved that it's not in the academy. It's like a standalone thing. So, I've like written down here, like basically sort of like this Gary Willis class, this masterclass, this 8-week class that is co-created with Gary Willis. So, and where we are with the academy and what we want that model to be, these 60 to 90 minute things, and I mean, because we can't just keep throwing everything in there, because it's just becoming an unruly beast. Okay, I'm trying to come up with a neat model so it's really understandable for the students what's where and what's inside, what's outside, and it makes sense. And like, I'm testing this stuff out as well. I'm not freaking perfect, like I'm going to make mistakes along the way, but I'd rather make the freaking mistake than not just do anything at all, sit on my ass. But I really don't think that this model here, where we've got the academy and then these separate longer form classes, is a mistake at all. And I think that like we co-created this with Gary Willis, and for us, it's really about having the subscription, that all-inclusive school, but then also offering our students the opportunity to have these longer form experiences with the tutors. And we've had such great feedback from the last 2 that we've done, that like for me, Gary, like I studied with Gary, like I've been mates with Gary for a lot, I don't know, years, right? I don't know, how old am I? I don't know, like 20 years or something I've known Gary. So a long time. And so he was the first guy. I was like, okay, let's do this thing. And like, he was up for it, so we put it together. And to be frank, if it wasn't if it wasn't like an external course, it wouldn't be economically viable to do it anyway. Like, to put this together without getting into the sort of like nitty gritty details of the finances and stuff like that, to give you sort of like a rough idea of how much something like an 8-week course with somebody like Gary takes to put together, it's about 40 grand, not pounds, dollars. And that's sort of like on the low side, just like video. So like think about the videographers, right? So like, say on those, that bulk of time that we had, I think we had him for like 5 or 7 days. I think it was 5 or 7 days. We've got like 2 videographers, 1 lighting guy. These aren't sort of like in my team. These are like contracted in. So that is like 500 quid a day times 5, or 5 times 7, whichever it was, times 3. I mean, like 3 guys, 500 quid a day times 5 or 7 days, whichever it was. I mean, so like you're talking just in sort of like videography costs, like 7.5 to 10 grand. Just for the filming, not including editing, not including sort of like the teamwork and sort of like website build out and all that stuff. So like all, and not including sort of like artist fees and flying Gergo over from LA and stuff like that. So it's about 40 grand. So for me to sort of like blow 40 grand on sort of like, it wouldn't be economically viable. So it would have to be shorter, which is what we're doing. We're going to be putting sort of like a more focused, like 60-minute course in the academy from Gary. But to do these long form things, it's just not economically viable to spend that and then put it in there. Do you know what I mean? It would be crazy. So with that in mind, it's like, do I want to create these sort of like 8-week long, or maybe even more? Like I've been thinking about doing sort of like 12-week long and 16-week long experiences with these sort of like heavy hitters like Gary Willis. I need to create them. Like for me, the base community needs it. I mean, it's either it doesn't exist or it exists. So like, and who's going to do that? Like, I'm going to do it. I'm the only guy that's going to do it. I think I'm the only guy that's going to do it. Maybe somebody else is going to do it. But right now, I think I'm the only guy that's going to sort of like come along and create something like that. And I think that the bass community absolutely needs, deserves, and Gary deserves to get his message out there and sort of like the way he thinks about mastering the bass and everything between. Absolutely, you know. And there's some sort of like other big hitters on my sort of like list that I'd love to do this with as well. Like somebody's actually, I mentioned down here, somebody mentioned, who was it? Mental Extra, who's a member here at Basschat, mentioned Pino Palladino. Dude, I'm trying to get him. It's more tricky than you might think. It's like really tricky. He's just, you know, he's like a really private guy, and to sit somebody in front of a camera crew and stuff like that, it's like quite hard on the artist as well. So like we're trying anyway. So like you said that sort of like it'd make your day if we did that. So bear with me. But anyway, so hopefully, never burp on camera. Hopefully that gives you some sort of like insight into why things are sort of like, why the Academy is the way it is and why it's structured like that. The short 60 to 90 minute courses that are published every 6 weeks, why we've got this huge course library, and then the live streams and the interviews and then the community, they're all inside that. And then also why we're doing sort of like more longer form, sort of like drip fed classes. And actually like, a side note, do you know, because we like look at all the stats of what the students are doing inside the actual membership and outside the membership, when you actually drip feed a course, the attendance or the way that the students consume the content is way higher than when it's sort of like a la carte or you can eat kind of thing. So just an interesting side note. But hopefully that sort of like clears up what I'm thinking, and also clears up that I'm not a complete douche either, which like a few people have which few people have said. Oh, who'd have him? And oh, and then some of the people have said, I've just sort of like pulled up some things that I wanted to hit on. Somebody said, in my honest opinion, it seemed like he had an attitude behind his very short replies on social media. It like, I just can't sort of like put a lot of time into doing social media because we get 150 emails a day. We have like 20, 30 Instagram messages a day. Like I can't respond to them all. So I'm sorry if my reply was short. I'm absolutely not some sort of like weird egomaniac or nothing. My camera battery thing's clicking there. Oh, I didn't tell you the YouTube thing. Hang out there. Let me see if I've got a battery and I'll tell you this YouTube thing, but it's really interesting. Wait there. I'm back. Sorry guys. Yeah, I know it's gone a bit over, like I thought this was going to be like a 5-minute video, it's turned into a 20-minute video, but I want to hit on the YouTube stuff, I think it's really interesting. So yeah, the guy was like, he seemed very egotistical and a bit up himself. I'm sorry if I seem egotistical or a bit up myself, I'm absolutely not, but there you go. I'd love for you to upload a video of yourself so we can all take a look at that too. Bass, his manner is annoying and you have to sit through 10 minutes of crap to get to the point of the exercise. So this is the bit that I'm not annoying, or maybe I am annoying, I don't know. But anyway, and Bob, hey Si, how's it going by the way? And so this is to do with YouTube, and I think this is really interesting, and it's nothing that I've spoken about before. So I'm gonna wrap this up in a few different ways. So Bob comes in and he says, that's my experience of the free stuff, not the paid stuff. Makes sense. So obviously it does make sense that I have sort of like a different content on YouTube than I have in the SPL Academy, the subscription school. It makes sense because obviously I want there to be a clear, why should I sign up to Scott's school? Maybe because it's like really direct educationally and stuff like that and really to the point. But the weird thing, and somebody said clickbait videos, I want to talk about that as well. This is all kind of sort of like leading up to this YouTube thing, right? The fact of the matter is that YouTube has, let me just sort of like pull up some stats here so you can, I'm hoping this is wildly interesting to you because it's wildly interesting to me. YouTube has changed so dramatically over the last few years, like crazy dramatically. And what I used to do in the olden days, where me and you guys used to hang in Basschat, I had time to come in and hang with you guys, and on YouTube I used to just record a lesson. I'd sit in front of a camera, I'd say, hey, Scott here, and then I'd just, you know, I'd do the thing, I'd like play the thing, and then ta-da, and then end of the video, right? Super easy on my side. I'm looking down here because I'm getting these YouTube stats for you, by the way. Super easy on my side because I can just sort of like hit record the video, and then press stop and done, and I don't need to think about titles of videos and all that crap, okay? The actual fact of the matter is that YouTube has changed so drastically these days that over the last few years, I just kept on doing that. I was looking at my YouTube stats, and I was just like, just going down, down, and down, and I was like, what the heck's going on here? Like, why? Oh, where's the analytics? Here we go. So why is it not working anymore? Why is... Sorry, bear with me. The YouTube's changed its interface. Oh crap! Subscribers. Okay, that'd be cool. Let's go for the lifetime. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the lifetime inside my. How do I do this? Inside my YouTube channel. I might edit this bit out. I'm utterly useless. I'm going to draw it for you. I'm really bad at tech. Okay, so this is what my subscriber count was doing on YouTube. Okay. It was going down. It was going down really rapidly. And I was just like, and this is the weird thing as well, I'd invested in DSLR cameras, and I'd back in the day, I just used to be able to sit in my bedroom, put on the thing, and just you know, and the title of the video could be something like, how to learn your scales better. I mean, whatever it was, something really, really simplistic, eh? And so it was going down, 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 like that, right? And then I watched a few videos online talking about YouTube and how YouTube had changed, blah, blah, blah. And I tried some different things on YouTube, and literally, it's really a pain in the ass that I can't show you this. Literally, this happened. So this was going down like this. For instance, this is let's say for instance, this would be 2017, right? And it was just at the start of, was it the start of God's gone. I think it was the start of 2018 or 2017. I figured it out, and I did this thing, and literally, and it was overnight. Overnight, we just all the subscribers got boom, and then zoom like this, and I was like, wow, this is amazing, this is amazing. So here's the weird thing. When that started happening is when I started messing around with sort of doing vlog style content on YouTube. So where the cameras, I have to, it's this camera here. So I'm walking around with the camera, and I'm sort of having to sort of do this thing, and oh man, the workload is so much. So this is, I think that people watch my YouTube videos and they're like, yeah, he loves doing that sort of weird sort of editing thing, and man, if I could just sit with a camera and just click on and teach you guys something cool, press off, and then upload that to YouTube, and you guys are just eat it up, that would be amazing. But the fact of the matter is that YouTube doesn't share it out, because YouTube is, and the awkward part is that people don't engage with it, because they're on YouTube, you are fighting against, when I started doing it, it was me and Marlo DK. Now it is every man and their dog, everybody's doing it. So there's a huge, and it's not, you're not sort of battling against other bass guys, you're battling against freaking, I don't know, Fluffy the cat just ate a frog on that right hand thing. I would click on Fluffy the cat ate a frog or whatever and watch that rather than watch a bass video, okay? Fair play. But the problem is that I was caught, and I think I still am caught in that trap, and I don't think there's any way that I'm going to get out of that trap in terms of YouTube, is that the titles have to be ridiculously catchy to get people to click on them, because the new YouTube algorithm basically sort of measures that. Back in the day, it didn't have to be. I could just send my email list and say, hey, I've released a new lesson, it's called How to Play Your Scales Better on Bass. And I'd just send my email list, or I'd email them, loads of people would go over, and the YouTube algorithm would say, ooh, wow, there's lots of people hitting this video, it must be really popular, and pump it up. That is, those days are dead and gone. Doesn't happen anymore. What happens now is engagement. How many people are clicking on it, and how many people are being retained within the video, which is why you have to have all these pattern interrupts. I'll be talking at the camera like this, and then it'll go to a different thing, and then it'll go to a different thing. And just to put this in context for you, if you look on YouTube and you'll see a video, it's called, I can't remember what it's called, it's how to play something gospel licks. It's, let me just, I can do this, it's Reggie Young basically on bass. Reggie Young bass, okay. It's something to do with gospel bass lesson. If I put bass lesson gospel, it'll come up. Okay, it's called, check this out, How to Play Bass Fills like the gospel guys with just one lick, right? How to play bass fills, like the gospel guys with just one lick. If you check that out on YouTube, it's that one there. Hang on, I'll show you the thumbnail. It's that one there. Like, it got really great views, like 250,000 within the first 2 weeks or something like that. It was like really high up there. But the reason why I'm talking about this one specifically is just to give you guys a direct example of how much time it took me to actually create that video. So for instance, if I sit down with a this isn't me farting, by the way, it's the chair's squeaky. Normally, like back in the day, I'd do a video and then I'd just like get the memory card, give it to the videographer would go up and it'd be like, hey, Scott's recorded this lesson, it's 10 minutes long, great, edit, upload, boom, done, right? When you're doing this vlog style stuff with the camera and all this kind of thing, you end up with like 4 or 5 hours of footage. I can't hand that off to a videographer and say, off you go, mate. So I have to edit it. So to give you a direct example, that lesson, how to play bass fills like the gospel guys with just one look, took me 3 days full to edit. 3 days. So it is really frustrating when I see guys in the comments of YouTube and they're like, oh, I wish you didn't do this style of content anymore, Scott. I wish you just did the old style that you used to do. No shit. Me too, it was great. I could sort of like have a life, do you know what I mean? But now it's just, the rules have changed on YouTube and I have to adhere to them. Otherwise, my channel will sink, it'll tank. So if you've been wondering why I changed all the YouTube stuff like that, that's exactly why. It was nothing to do with me wanting to do like way more work on videos or anything like that. It was just, it's really, I want to keep on growing SBL like a freight train because I've been given this opportunity to make a dent on the bass community and specifically the bass educational community, and I'm going to do it. And if I have to sort of like spend sort of like crazy hours editing videos for YouTube, well, so be it. But the unfortunate thing is some of our audience would rather that sort of like, you know, what it used to be like, right? So, and back to my, God, I can talk, can't I? Back to my original point. Cy Bob said, that's my experience with the free, because somebody said, hey, his manner is annoying and you have to sit through 10 minutes of crap to get to the point of the exercise. And then Cy said, that's my experience of the free stuff, not the paid stuff. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I wanted to say, I think it does help that there's a difference there between the free and the paid stuff, because all the paid stuff is no talk. It's just like straight to it. You're here to learn. I don't want to waste your time. I mean, like, I want you to get to the good stuff straight away. Whereas, I suppose what I'm saying, it wasn't a strategic decision to start with. It was just like I had to get in there and make the YouTube channel actually grow. Otherwise, I'd hit rock bottom. And like people, like a lot of people come to me, YouTubers, and ask for tips and advice on stuff like this. And some of the bass guys as well. And I've said, you know, like, you've got to do this thing, you know, like, so for instance, one Mark, I'm like good friends with Mark Smith, like for a long time. I've known Mark again for like 20 years, and he was doing all of these live streams on his channel, on his YouTube channel, and really struggling to get subscribers, and his subscribers were sort of like flatlining. And we went for a curry in Leeds, and he was like, what do you think? I was like, dude, it's the live streams. You're getting penalised from YouTube for doing the live streams. It is a tricky beast. YouTube is a tricky beast. It is not as you think. I mean, record a video, upload it, and everybody comes along. It's just not like that. I wish it was. It'd be a lot easier. Hence why I have to come up with very creative titles to get the people to click on it, you know. And last, two things. The Greek. Hey dude, you showed a picture of us together in Bass Day, the London Bass Day. I can't remember, it wasn't last year, was it? I just wanted to say, I can remember admiring your hat actually. Good hat, and we're both bald, so I love you even a little bit more for it. And the lack of rock and metal, somebody said lack of rock and metal stuff within SBL and the Academy. I'm on it. I've got some cool guys coming up. It's hard educationally to sort of like package it. I'm like, long story short, I'm on it, but it's harder than you might think to get an educational angle on sort of like how to do, not how to play rock, but how to do it so you're not just learning licks and stuff like that, because I'm not that dude that's just going to teach you licks. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I know this has turned into a horrendously long video, probably half an hour. Nobody probably got to the end. If you did, thank you. Thanks for listening to me. Hopefully I answered some questions about what's in the academy and what's outside the academy. Like, the academy is freaking awesome, you know. It's just an absolute beast. I'd do backflips if that thing was around when I was a kid. My God, I would have just been in there for like my life. I probably wouldn't be here because I'd still be in there learning from all those guys. Why the outside stuff is outside, because we're experimenting with a long form thing, and we also wouldn't be economically viable to actually put it in there anyway and create them. So, and I want to create them. I think it's cool to be able to create stuff like this for the bass community. And then I suppose sort of like finally, please don't talk about my wife and stuff online. It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. And the whole sort of like link, I don't know, like maybe, I don't know, it's a new era we live in, I suppose. And I am absolutely the same in real life as I am on camera. Hopefully you've probably got a feel for that right now. Anyway, thanks again, guys. Take it easy. I'm not going to say see you in the shed. Have a wicked one. Bye.